morning, Talking Sticks family. We are back for another episode of Talking Sticks. Once again, today we are here at the Harlem Cigar Room. That's blessed us to open their doors early to conduct this beautiful interview on this beautiful Sunday morning. And I am blessed to have the pleasure of the Blackley Society here in my presence.
What's going on?
What's going
Y'all
on?
say good morning.
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 I have Ja and I have Spence. We are going to dig in. They're going to tell us what the Blacklist Society is all about. Also, they're going to talk about a little bit of who they are and what they like, and hopefully they could give us a little hint on what we can expect to come from the Blacklist Society. So, as we get into it, Spence and Ja, one of y'all, please let us know what we are smoking on today.
Sure. So the tobacconist here is Jose Odin, and he's been working here for a while. He actually does all the social media here, and for the past year, he's been really working on his own blend, and he actually just came out with it. So he has a couple of different versions of it. You have the Connecticut Shade, which I'm going to be smoking, and you have the two Maduros,
And the Maduro.
which they're going to be smoking. He worked with a couple of people from Davidoff who kind of helped him come up with the blend, get everything kind of set up. So these are a phenomenal stick, and you can actually only get them here at Harlem Cigar Room. So if you want to check one of them out, support a local blend, come down here and check them out.
Definitely. All right. Time to cut.
Time to cut. Spence, what cut are you going with today?
So I went with a V cut. I love V cuts, and I think especially for like a Connecticut shade, it helps you get a little bit more power into there without kind of spanning things. So
Okay.
let's cut some
I'm
V cut.
going with a punch. I use my good friend from Elevate Bar Company, his 4-in-1 tool. So I went with the bigger punch today because the gauge of the cigar, and I will be lighting up with matches.
And I did a straight cut. It also has the Maduro, and I love to use regular sticks. You get a lot more flavor, and you don't burn it as much out of the flavor profiles of the cigar. So I guess
Yeah,
let's light it up.
it's funny how we all used different cuts.
Yes. Well, I like to talk about that too sometimes if we have time.
Yeah.
Because I like to get everyone's preference between torches and matches and cuts. So it's very interesting. So let's jump straight into this. I mean, I've been waiting to do this interview for a long time. I met Ja at the Blackley Society's first event at Merchant Cigar Bar Lounge in the city, and we connected. And I'm just excited to hear the story of how it all started, where it all came about, and we'll go from there. So, Spencer, Ja, whoever would like to answer the first question, what is the Blackley Society?
I think Spence got a well-rounded answer for that one.
All right.
Sure. So, and just to give a little bit of context, so I met Ja at a wedding. It was one of our mutual friends' wedding, and we were both big cigar smokers. We like cigars. Where everybody else there was really weren't cigar smokers. They were just kind of But it's a wedding. You always bring out cigars.
Exactly.
So we were talking about getting something together, doing something together with cigar and cigar culture, and we thought about it like anytime you ever see another cigar group, usually what they do is they go out to the bar, they pop some bottles, they have fun, great times, all that kind of great stuff. But they're not really adding anything to the experience. I can go and do that with my friends. Why pay a subscription fee to go and do something like that? And in addition, you always want the things that you do to have a higher purpose, a higher calling to them. And you want to figure out a way to combine those things. So we figured, let's make the Black Leaf Society where we're going to be having all these events. We're going to be connecting you to black cigar culture, black cigar brands and companies, but we're also going to have a community aspect to it. We want to find ways to improve the community around us so you feel like you're heavily involved in the cigar community, but also your community at large. So we want to do things like donate to different charities, do different social, social activities, working in soup kitchens, things like that. Just anything we could do to really help the community around us to build that sense of community throughout the whole society.
Okay.
Did I miss anything, Jeff?
So like Spence said, we did meet at a wedding, but Harlem Cigar Room is the mastermind to all this. During the pandemic,
Very true.
this is where we came up with the concept.
Okay.
This is where the brainstorming started. This is where Black Leaf was born.
Hmm.
So it's a big symbolism having the interview here as well. Just to have a neutral party where they invited us in to have a couple cigars and conversation started and this is where the foundation of our conversation started and really grew. So it's awesome to see where we at now. Because our first conversation we wanted a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And then our eyes opened to say that hey, we can do a lot more than just a brick and mortar where people can lounge and have a cigar. We can be more in tune to what the culture of black cigar smokers, because we spoke about it several times and we don't see as many black people having a place to go to or being a part of something to elevate the cigar brand or cigar culture itself. So and I think there's different classes of cigar smokers. There's beginners, there's people that do it every so often, and then there's some people that do it every day.
Yes.
And the network of all different cigar smokers, there's bus drivers, there's garbage men, there's corporate men, there's a leisure man. And we want to build off of that because that's going to build our network of qualified people to do many things. And I think that's where the society part plays more of an impact to what we're trying to do.
Okay. All right. So as you hear it, Harlem Cigar Room is a stepping stone or an introduction place where not only does it make it brings everyone in where they need a place to relax or have their cigar, but it's that first spot, that building block where people get to start their businesses or come up with their ideas and brings the community together. Because also here, besides this being my second interview in the Harlem Cigar Room, this was another connection that I made with someone. This was where it happened at, and that connection is benefiting me, 110% to where it's helping my life grow and things grow for me. So thank you, Harlem Cigar Room,
Yes.
for having your doors open and being this spot. So before we get back into the Blackley Society, as I always say, I like for the people who follow you, who are supporting you, to get to know the people behind the company itself. So I'm going to ask, tell me or tell us a little bit who Ja is, and then tell us a little about who Spence is. So whoever would like to go first.
I'll go first. So, who am I? I am born and raised in the Bronx, New York. 80s baby. So if you know
Okay.
you know about the 80s in the Bronx, you know it was rough. Seen a lot, been through a lot, but I pushed through and went to college. I have a bachelor's in food service management and a concentration in food and beverage.
Okay.
And I'm just a cool brother that loves cigars, that loves a good ambiance, very customer oriented. Love to have a good time. Love to see people have a good time, man.
What college are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I went to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
I stayed out in Providence for 10 years. Learned a lot there, grew there, and I decided to come back to the city and get my grind on. Just gotta make that money, you know.
Gotcha. While you was at Johnson & Wales, any fraternity, any?
Yes, good question. So during my time at Johnson & Wales, I pledged Groove by Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated, founded at Morgan State College, 1962. Currently, I live in New England, and I'm the regional director there as well. So that's like my third job after work, after family, then it's Groove, and then my love of cigars.
Nice. Spencer?
Deep question, right? Who are you?
Yeah.
I actually live in Harlem. I live right up the block from this place. And when I first moved down here, I love cigars, but I would just travel to different places in the city. But when I started coming here, one of the things I noticed was that when somebody walks in here, they shake everybody's hand. And I thought that was kind of odd. Like, I'd never seen something like that before. But it gave the sense of this place is a community. It's a place where really you get to know everybody and everybody sort of knows you, and you have that huge sense of community. I predominantly in the corporate world, but I always wanted to do something that was a passion project, something that I love to do. So I started working with Felix here doing social media, and he had opened up a wine spot, and I started doing the marketing for him there.
Good.
And it just kind of showed me that there are other possibilities for you to do things, right? I can do marketing in the corporate world, I can do it in, higher education, but you can also do it for yourself. You can find a passion, you can find something you love.
Yes.
And when I'm speaking about myself, I usually just try to go after the things I love to do. I'm not really motivated by like money or things like that. I really just want to feel myself be fulfilled. So when me and Josh started talking about this, that was one of the biggest aspects of this. We could just sell cigars. Like, that's not a problem. I can go online, freak the algorithm, make that work.
Yeah.
But why are we doing this? What are we doing it for?
Gotcha.
So for me, being able to have that higher calling where I feel like I can benefit the community and do things like that, that is really what's important for me. I think those are the types of things that define who I am.
Gotcha.
So we have our motto. It's unity, community, society, and I think all those things kind of lead to who I am because when you have those things, it really creates a fulfilling life,
Gotcha.
and that's kind of what I look for.
Unity, community, society. Unity, community, society. Think about that, everyone. Like it unity, community, society. It's three words that kind of in the same context all mean the same thing. Basically have the same basis, but can be brought out and branched out differently.
Correct.
But it brings everybody together, and that's what cigars do. Cigar
Right.
brings everybody together, no matter what you do, who you are, what you like. We all have this one common thing that helps us to socialize, to break down, to understand, and to relate to one another.
And that's what the black leaf is within itself.
And I mean, even in explaining the motto, those things mean similar things, but they don't mean the exact same thing.
Yes.
Right? So you can have a community that lacks unity, right?
Yes.
Everybody could be sitting at each other's throats. There are lots of communities, but that doesn't mean you have a whole society. All those things kind of build on levels, right? We're uniting together and we're building a cigar community, and hopefully that cigar community can help benefit the society at large.
Gotcha.
So the kind of the steps that you're taking in order to affect because all those things matter,
Yes.
like having that unity between just individuals is very, very important. But it doesn't also mean that the broader community is less important. That's very important. And then so all those things kind of matter, and if they move in unison, it creates a sort of vibrance that we're looking to create.
Very true.
Okay, so we got a little bit of background of who John Spencer are, what they like, what motivates them, how they give it back, what they did in the part of their life. So we're gonna get back into the Blackley Society. So how long has the Blackley Society been established?
To be honest, it's a pandemic, baby. Spence, I don't know when to say when we really established, but I can say our first event was our kind of stepping stone to say, all right, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that was we had an icebreaker in June, right?
Yeah.
June
Yeah.
2021.
Okay, where was this first event at, if you don't mind me asking, getting off topic a quick bit?
It was actually in Connecticut. It was at the Owl Lounge in New Haven, Connecticut, right downtown. We called it our friends and family. We went to introduce our brand and what we're trying to do to our close network people.
Okay.
So it was very intimate. We had maybe about 10, 15 people that showed up.
Mm-hmm.
and we just sat there, conversated, smoked cigars, and really just gave a quick 5-minute speech of what we're trying to do, and it just lifted off from there. We said, all right, yeah, we're gonna move forward. We know what we can do, how we can do, and each time that we started to throw another event, it got better, and another event, the eyes opened up, the vision opened up more, which, you know, me and Spence, we have full-time jobs, so a lot of the times we do this right after our workday to keep building, and that's what's gonna take to get us to where we want to go. But the first event was just friends and family, very intimate. We just wanted to show people what we was trying to do, and people loved the concept and the idea. And once we knew that we had their backing, we knew that we could move forward.
Nice. You already spoke about why the name Blackley Society, so therefore that's why I wanted to ask you about the first event. So my corrections as far as saying Merchants was your first event.
Merchants was the first event in
New York.
Okay,
yeah.
And that was the first event I attended. And it was a real enjoyable experience. Just the whole vibe, how it was different with the live singing. It was just awesome. It was beautiful, and y'all could catch it on my page. Y'all could catch it on their page, where you can follow both of us, and you could be aware of all the other events that come about for the Blackley Society. So I'm gonna go and ask, from throwing the first event to where you talk to your friends and family about the Blackley Society, and from what I know about having your first event at Merchants in here in New York City, was there a fear?
Absolutely. Every day to me, and this is my answer. Spence may have a totally different perspective. New York was a big thing. Listen, when you throw something in New York, you gotta be on your P's and Q's.
Okay.
People don't know who you are, what you're about, what you're trying to do. And people came out not knowing who we were. People that came out and enjoyed the concept of what we was trying to do. Because I think they was more intrigued to see who is or what is the Black Leaf Society. And it was nerve-wracking, but between me and Spence, some days he'll be stronger than. Some days I'll be stronger, and then both days we're like, all right, we good, all right, we good. But that's the beauty of having a partner to throw things off of, to support. You're not in this by yourself, and even our friends and family also support us, even if they don't physically come to all the events. They always call and say, hey, you're doing a great thing, keep pushing.
Nice.
And that's important. They always ask, how can we contribute? We tell them this way, there's gonna be a time when we're gonna need more of your support. But if you can't make it out, it's cool. Spread the word, let people know. That's how you really help us. So.
Yeah, I would even say from my perspective, I think it's easy to go into business for yourself, right, and kind of risk your own resources, right. I have I have some dollars I want to put into my own business. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's only on you, right?
Yeah.
You can go to sleep at night after that. I have a partner, right? So if I take a risk and I lose his money, that's a whole different thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose his money. In addition, we had a performer there. We had a new venue who we really wanted to continue using.
Okay.
So if this doesn't work, now I have to go to my performer and be like, oh, I don't have the check for you. Like, that's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
I have to pay that person. The venue that we have, there's not a lot of cigar venues in New York City.
Yes.
So if they don't like us, if they're like, oh, you brought 2 people coming out, they're not going to have us back.
Yeah.
So there is a ton of risk, and you're going into it not knowing what's going to happen after. For us, even, like, just the lead up to it with all the different things that we had to do from a marketing perspective, I can tell you the levels of panic I had when certain guys were working and then they got cut off, and I'm just like, I don't think, honestly, we got probably 70% of the people who were coming in the last 3 or 4 days. So you have to think about.
To be honest, the last day
The last day was good 50%.
50%.
Wow.
So
Serious. We was walking in the day before the event, like, are we gonna make it to our quota?
yeah.
And then I get a random text. We all right. In the middle of the day, we all right.
Day of.
Day of.
Day of the event.
Day of.
Okay.
In the middle of the day, couple hours before the event, we cover. We cover all expenses. I'm like, all right, that's all I ever need.
So it's only up from here then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our motto starting out is, let's cover our expenses and let's make sure the people that are there enjoy themselves.
Nice.
Because we understand, and being someone from the culinary industry that I've known people to open restaurants, and within the first year they close because it's all a risk.
Yeah.
You know, if you can break even your first year, you did something right. If you can make a profit, then you're doing something really good.
Okay.
So that someone that comes from that field, we broke even and we made a couple dollars on top.
Right.
We're golden. We're moving in the right direction. Now it's just tearing off to make it better, to promote better, to network better, and to build the brand better. Because that was our big event. Anything in New York to me is big. So the opportunity to have an event in New York City, in Midtown, and to have a well-diverse audience come out was priceless.
Good.
No, the only thing I would add to that too is I think it's very important to understand what your goals are.
Okay.
So a lot of times everybody's only goal is to make money, right? Like I just want to make my money. I just want to make my money. But at least when I was looking at these events, I saw them more as a marketing opportunity. I needed to get email addresses. I needed to get people introduced to us. I needed to build a foundation so that eventually we can turn on that tab and start really profiting off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But not every single action that I was doing was based on the fact that I was going to get a dollar value out of it.
Gotcha.
So I can look at an event and, let's say you have an event, you spend $5,000 on the event, and you don't make any money, right? But you had $5,000 worth of marketing activity that happened, right? So you had $5,000 of people giving you email addresses, being introduced to you, having a great time, having things like that. To me, that's actually almost a $5,000 profit.
Yes.
Because you were able to get all this activity to happen that didn't cost you a dime. You made all that money back. So looking at things through the proper lens, I think, can really help you when you're trying to see exactly what you're doing and you're kind of taking these risks. Like maybe it's not the exact outcome that you want, but there may be so much upside to it that it's okay. Like I can wait this out for a little bit to get to the point where I'm trying to get to.
Gotcha.
And not to interrupt you, and that's why we play off of each other, because
Gotcha.
he is the marketer. He understands those aspects. Now me, I'm all about trying to catch that dollar. I'm like, Spence, we ain't making enough. He's like, nah, we doing right. And when I have to sit back and just take a moment, like when you sell it like that or you approach it like that, we are building the community step by step. We're not taking no shortcuts to building where we're trying to go. Because first we got to bring unity from individuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes the individuals first that comes out to build that unity, and then we can create the community. And those are just within our own slogan. So if you look at the tiers of where we're trying to go, we're building it the correct way based on the tiers of how we operate and what we're trying to do.
And that's the whole purpose of Talking Six, as I always say, is to bring people together. And what better way to bring people together is let's make social media work and let social media do what social media does. Social media gives us that platform to interact, to connect with other people without having to spend, dollars to go in newspapers, to go in magazines, to go in, billboards and everything. Because everyone at some point in time is going to sit down on their phone and just scroll up.
It's bound to pop up somewhere.
They're going to see someone else post and tap the post. And once you make social media do what social media does, I say it gives you that platform to continue to grow.
Yeah.
And that's why I like and that's what my whole goal for Talking Six was, is to give businesses, especially if you're a pandemic baby business, or if your business been around 10, 20 years and the pandemic hit and it just threw you all off and you actually made it through. Because there's some businesses that once that pandemic hit and certain things just started to slowly open up, they weren't able to kick it off again. They weren't able to get off the ground. They wasn't able to have the same customer base or to adapt to the changes that just came about.
Absolutely.
I'll deviate a little bit from the Blacklist Society and what everything is, and I'm going to go into a cigar question for our cigar enthusiasts. Is what do you two look for in a cigar?
Okay, good question. So, during the pandemic, I actually went to learn how to roll cigars. My fraternity brother in LA actually is a master roller, Chris. So I took a class and he showed me how to roll cigars and to understand the concept of rolling a cigar. What is a binder? What is a filler? What is Ligero? What is Seco? Those are just flavor profiles.
Okay.
So when I look at a cigar, I want to know what's inside a cigar. Because you can make a beautiful cigar, but you can have the worst or not the best filler aspects in a cigar that makes the blend of the flavor to give you the flavor profile that you're looking for. So ideally, I'm in the medium to stronger cigars, heavier cigars.
Okay.
Having an advanced palate, I tend to get all the flavor profiles of maybe coffee, pepper, creamy, or just my palate is so advanced. That's why I like a heavier cigar.
Gotcha.
Sometimes a lighter cigar, maybe early in the day, coffee kind of filler.
Okay.
I may not want as heavy, but if I'm gonna sit down and smoke for an hour and a half, I do like a milder, heavier cigar, and it's really what's inside the cigar that really turns me on. Like, I like to see descriptions of cigars and like, oh, that's what's inside of it. Ooh, all right, yeah, I'm gonna try that one, yeah. But you know what? For a marketing standpoint, when I first started smoking cigars, it was all about the band.
Okay.
It was all about the band. Like, why did this person pick the band, or how did they get this concept of this band, or what is the story behind the band? Because I think the band itself should tell you a story if you don't know what the cigar is.
Gotcha.
And I think up and coming cigar entrepreneurs, I think you should really invest in how your band look and the craft of the cigar itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and me coming from a marketing background, though, I do think about the visual presentation of things, and I think people really tend to underestimate that. So, if you're a restaurant, a lot of times when you make food, people take visual cues on how the food is going to taste to them. If the food looks beautiful, if it looks appetizing, if it smells tasty,
Yes.
then it's going to taste great to them. If it looks like a bowl of slop, no matter how great it is, it's going to be very hard for them to get past that. What I look for in cigars, I look for a couple of different things. I think about what I'm doing in that day. So if I just want to have a light stick before I go out and do something else, I'm not going to get the biggest, heaviest cigar that's going to, put me on my ass.
Okay.
But if I'm, it's the end of the night, I want something a bit stronger with, a higher like nicotine content and things like that. I'll go for something a little bigger and a little heavier. As far as flavor components, I just like complexity. I want to get different things as I smoke it. I want to have different flavor profiles as I get from the front to the back of the cigar. I don't want to have this kind of just wash of this kind of smoke that doesn't really taste like anything.
Not a blend, just
yeah. The more complexity I can get from it, the more different flavors, whether you're getting, coffee and cocoa, but also some of that like woody flavors, some of the earthy flavors that come out with it. It makes me think about what I'm having with it. So if I'm having a scotch, let's say, then I want those woody and earthy flavors because it's going to really fit with the scotch I'm drinking.
Okay.
If I'm drinking like a big bourbon, that's going to give you a lot more sugar and it's going to give you a lot more of those types of flavors, then I am looking for something with the coffee and with the cocoa, because those flavors are going to meld and they're going to really taste great together. So just the environment I'm in, like in the summer, I like Connecticut shades. It's hot outside. I don't want to be sweating, dying over the scar. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the winter, I do want something a little bit stronger. So I take all those things into effect when I'm trying to decide what I want to smoke.
Okay. So, with with you learning how to hand roll cigars, with how y'all talk about your palates in which you look for when you want to smoke in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, to also pair with the drinks that you're having. I'm going to ask a very popular question that's floating around here in the cigar society and cigar community. Yes, we all have big brands dabbed off. Listen to Ashton, Oscar, but we also have house blends from cigar lounges, and we also have entrepreneurs that are hand rolling their cigars. Besides the big name companies, which we do appreciate, when it comes down to house blends and hand rolled cigars, what is your preference?
My own. My own. I think rolling cigars is people may take it for granted, but it's a pure art form that has a long history that I can say I'm African American, that may not have been passed along, but my ancestors may have done it. You know, I have Indian in us, and I know back then they smoked a lot of tobacco.
Yeah.
But that trait wasn't never passed on, and it was kind of lost within my own culture. But I know I feel inside of me that it was part of it at one time, because it's natural. Just like when I cook, comes just as natural. It's building a recipe, and it's technique. All those things is things that I learned in culinary school. It's technique, flavor profiles, recipes. So I take this as another part of hospitality, food industry that is untapped. This is an untapped potential that that can grow into mainstream and be an art form itself. If you look at the wave in Atlanta and down south, it is a big popular thing where people prefer to go to a lounge that has the ambiance of a restaurant.
Yes.
So it is a trend right now, but to me it's not a trend. It's just something that was untapped, that we noticing, that we actually enjoy, and that we actually have an opportunity to be in.
So right now we're smoking a blend that was created by the tobacconist here. This is his really kind of first outing within the cigar industry, kind of creating his own sticks. And the reason why I smoke them, and I always say this about a business, everybody is always kind of asking, oh, you know, I want people to support my business, support. And I think that's great, but I also think that you should be giving them something that they appreciate.
Yes.
I don't smoke these because I want to support Odin. I smoke these because these are great cigars. These are phenomenal. You know, like, I would smoke them if I didn't know who the hell he was. You know, I'd be like, oh, let's grab one of these smoke. So I think, you know, like, I do love the house blends here are also phenomenal, great, and I'll smoke them too. And I like them because they're actually this high quality, well made, great cigars. You know, Odin puts all this work into the band, has these beautiful bands. Everything about them is on par with anything else I would smoke. And I really do appreciate when somebody who's coming into the business does something like that. Even if they're a small brand, they put that work and that effort into it to make it so that I don't feel obligated to do that. I feel happy to do it. I would do it no matter what, you know. I feel like it makes it a better experience for everybody around.
Okay. All right. Well, we have went through. We spoke about the Blackley Society. We spoke about cigars that we like. We spoke about John Spence. And I appreciate y'all. But I'm going to get into the Talking Six question of the hour. Right? Which I think everyone who's watching, even myself, I want to know. So, y'all events before in Connecticut. Y'all have recently just had their 2 events in Merchants and NYC.
Yep.
So the Talking Six question now is, what can the Talking Six family expect from the Black Leaf Society in the near future?
I'll jump into that.
Yeah.
So I like throwing events. That's just like my thing. So a couple things that we have intentively on the calendar for 2022 is we would love to do a golf driving range cigar kind of feel.
Okay.
We will definitely looking into doing a yacht party in the summertime on the water somewhere. Live music, live singer, great food, smokes, great ambiance. 2022 also has the HBCU coming to MetLife Stadium. We're looking to purchase a couple buses, go out, support black colleges.
Okay.
Some of the proceeds will go to a young man or lady towards their high school transition to college, a small scholarship.
Okay.
So we'll take proceeds from that as well, being part of the community. And we talk about all these other events, but our initial goal is to also start building that brand of being out in the community. The more people that we have to bring in within the unity to help us go out and do more community service. So this year hasn't been as community based because we're just trying to build ourselves up and figure out the direction where we want to go for the next year. So more community events, whether it's wintertime coat drive, Thanksgiving donating turkeys, summertime maybe you never know, doing a basketball event, anything in those sorts of things to do. We're also looking to do. Spence is a Jets fan, and I'm a Giants fan.
Giants, yes.
See. So, and part of the community itself, we want to also do a tailgate for a football game as well for Jets and Giants.
Okay.
Where you will come on the bus, we'll feed you, we'll have cigars available, bring your own chair, and just have a good time, man. Me and Spence going to a game before, we're like, this will be a good ambiance for our society to come out and enjoy ourselves. So those are the more the event aspects of what we're trying to do. And Spence will go into the marketing and the subscription part of what we're trying to do next.
Yeah, sure. So another aspect of what we're trying to do is also create a subscription business around this, where you'd basically be able to subscribe to the Blacklist Society, and we'd be giving you things like tons of new different content, opportunities to really do like exclusive types of events. So we have our broad general event, but we also want to be able to buy something exclusive for the community that we're in. And also putting together a box set so that we have all these relationships with these black cigar producers, black, brands, and we want to be able to get those things out to you where you may not have been able to hear from them, but through our relationship, we can get those to you. So we want to set up a subscription service that help kind of bring all that together and help bring that, that community aspect to what we're trying to do.
Nice. So, anything else that y'all would like to bring out that I may have missed?
So our long-term goal is to eventually have a space, but it'll be a universal space. So if you're part of the society itself and you pay your subscription, wherever the space is at, you say maybe every third Friday, you're able to come out, no charge, no fee.
Nice.
You can go to the humidor, get a cigar. There'll be a bar available, and just come out and chill and vibe out. At least this will be your space.
Okay.
So say for instance, like if you wanted to have a birthday party and you're looking for a space, we want to have a big enough space where you can host a birthday party because you're part of the society.
Mm.
Or if you needed a place to do an interview, come right in anytime you need to do an interview.
Nice.
But that's part of building the brand itself. I look at it as in I can host classes to teach people how to roll cigars.
Yeah.
We can do community service out of our own facility where we can cook dinners and provide for the community. And to build it where that to give outlets to for people that need a space. If you're looking to do an art show, oh, there you go. So we want to have this space where it's universal, that the community, the community where we're at can come to, but also anybody in society would like to come to as well, and use that as their space. You pay into that, you have a space to always host if it's not being used at that time. So, and this will be also the place where me and Spence will work out of. It will also be the space that we cross-utilize for anybody that's looking to sell or branch out their opportunity with their own cigars.
Nice.
So our biggest goal is to work within our own community as well, networking, using that platform to help build them, to help build us. If we don't work together, we ain't gonna go nowhere.
Gotcha.
So that is like the long-term goal to have a space where it can be cross-utilized for anything that is needed. You know, we want to be as open as possible to the community itself, and to build a place for society to come and just lounge out where they don't never have to really have a cover fee based on the tiers that are on their subscription. So I know I would love to have like a gala, you know, upscale gala with food, and you know, we have so many different ideas. It's just we look at the cost of it. If we have our own space, and it'll be more, we can be so much versatile in what we do if we just have our own space, a big enough space where we can host those type of events. So that is our long-term goal.
Okay. Where can the viewers catch you on social media?
Social media. That's my guy right there. My marketing guy, social media platform world.
Yeah, we're the Blackley Society. You can catch us on Instagram. We're going to be launching the website in a couple of weeks, so look forward to that. And also, I mean, we use social media heavily, but we also want to make sure that you're just connecting directly to us. So we'll be launching a couple of things, especially just combined with the event, but ways for us to be able to talk directly. Because once you're in the community, you're in the community. So we have a lot more to come, but
Yep.
Check us out.
So, for everyone to know, whatever they launch, whatever they post, if you don't see it on the Blacklist Society right away, you will see it reposted on Talkin Sticks. So you could get it from there, and then go follow their page and get the links to where you need to go. I want to say, John Spence, thank you for this opportunity, for blessing me and blessing the viewers to hear about the Blacklist Society, to hear about who you two are, what you're doing for the community, what you're doing for the cigar community, what you're doing for us as a people. Also want to say thank you to the Harlem Cigar Room for hosting us once again. I want to say thank you to Elevate Bar Company for the punch and for sponsoring. And last but not least, thank you to Odin for the excellent cigars
Thank you.
and excellent smoke, man. It's very good.
Very good.
Please, 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 everyone, reach out, follow the Harlem Cigar Room, follow the Blacklist Society. Come here and support. Let Odin know that, or whoever you know, whoever's here at Harlem Cigar Room, come, that you've seen an interview, and see what they do for you. If there's nothing else, as I always say to everyone, please stay safe. Enjoy your holidays. Bring it in with your family and your friends. Enjoy the new year that's coming too. And peace, love, and God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.